Hello, everyone. I'm Sindhu, co founder of Growth Circle. Today, we are joined by Deepti, who is an author, poet, and a podcaster. Really excited to introduce Deepti. I remember meeting her in one of the book conferences where we both were in line to get a
Yeah.
autograph from Sudha Murthy ji. That's how our
Yeah.
journey began, and very inspiring professional will be hearing from Deepti. And we also are joined by Shubhra, who's my friend, and she'll also be jumping in with her questions for Deepti. Welcome to Growth Circle, Deepti. Really excited to have you here.
Thank you so much, Sindhu and Shubhra, for having me here. It's like an honor to, spend some time with lovely ladies like you and a lovely channel of yours, Growth Circle. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, just for our audience who are new, at Growth Circle, we bring stories of real entrepreneurs, real women leaders whom you can connect with. So, like the idea is, once you listen to Deepti, if you're interested, you can check out her podcast, you can reach out to her on LinkedIn. A lot of the speakers that we invite, they're very accessible. So, if you connect with them, you can also learn from their experiences. So, that's the idea. So, with that, I'll hand it over to Deepti for a quick round of introduction.
Yeah, thanks again, Sindhu. Yeah, I think briefly, The Light at the Edges is my second poetry book. And I think that's how I and Sindhu connected. I'll just like to start on that story which Sindhu actually shared how we met because that has been very interesting, right? So then we'll get on to the introduction part. So we were at a literature fest and we were standing in a line to get our books signed from Sudhamurthy ma'am, right? Because it's not often that you get this chance. And then I was carrying my book, The Light at the Edges, with me. And we were just standing next to each other in the queue, Sindhu and me. And then I think the book was a medium in terms of how we started talking to each other, right? Like I started talking about my book with her, and it even went on in terms of the conversation. And Sindhu also was going to publish a book she had mentioned that time, and that's how conversation started. So I think books do connect people in so many lovely ways. So and the light at the edges, I think that got me in touch with Sindhu. Is how I remember it. I'm basically a marketing professional. I work with MNCs and startups in their marketing teams, setting their marketing. And I have a few books of poetry. The Light at the Edges is one of them. And I have started an initiative to raise awareness around mental health, and Mental Health Musings podcast is a part of that, right? And Light at the Edges is all about essentially small poetries of finding hope and joys in your everyday simple things with a dash of self love, because we often tend to forget ourselves so many times. And the podcast has a range of episodes which can suit anyone and everyone, because it has podcast as small as 1 minute duration to as longer as over 1 hour. And the aim of starting that was to foster greater and better awareness. So yeah, that's a little bit about me.
Shubhra, maybe you want to share a quick intro about you?
Yeah, hi everyone. So I am Shubhra Chabra, a mother of a 20-month old daughter. And yes, I'm a corporate professional. I have over 10 years of experience in the secondary research area. Primarily, I work for investment banking region role, and currently employed with EY.
Superb. And Shubhra has been also the advisor for Growth Circle, has been the backbone, giving us ideas and helping us execute. Then let's dig in and how that journey began as an author, as a writer.
Uh, so I've been writing poems since my childhood, as far as I remember. Since my school days, I've been writing and I still have the memory of my notebook where I used to write. Then the notebook became a diary, and then I used to, because the pages got filled up, so then I had a diary, and then I used to continue writing it. So it was like poetry came to me, and I started writing it. It was as simple as that. And as years passed, right, I started working, etc. As life happened, uh, it wasn't so frequent in terms of me writing. it became, I mean, the frequency became very, became, I think, in terms of if I used to write every day earlier, it became once in a month, and then became once in a, so that's how it used to happen, right? But I still used to write, and occasionally I used to share it with a few of my friends and family, of course. And when WhatsApp came, right, over WhatsApp, that was very convenient. I did not have any blog, etc. So I did not share it anywhere else. So it was poetry was all about that. It came to me, I thought of something and then I wrote it and then I shared it. And that was it. And I continued doing that until that day. I think it was about 3 years back or so, when I similarly shared it with few of them, and I got and they loved it. And I got a few messages that why don't you consider publishing a book, because then that's how it will reach more people. More people will read it. So that is the first time I thought of it, like, okay, that is also an option. I can do it. So, and that's how my first book, the Cheer Collection, got published. Right? And readers loved it. Whoever read the book, they loved it in terms of the feedback that I got, because I wasn't sure. I said, okay, I will publish. No more thoughts. But yeah, it was good in terms of people liking it, people who read. Right? Because poetry is something not everyone reads. It's not a common genre that people are accustomed to reading regularly, right? So that really pushed me to publish another book. I thought hope is one thing that all of us need, right? No matter what,
Right.
at every stage of life. And we need it often. And we just need a reminder in so many different ways. So hope is definitely, but it doesn't have to be a task, right? That you have to do something to go and find your joy and go and find your happiness, right? It doesn't have to be so hard and difficult. And there are so many smaller ways to, easier ways to find that. So that's how I thought of the theme. And I started writing for specifically the light at the edges as the book. And that's how that book got published with that overall theme. And then from then onwards, I have never stopped my writing essentially, which used to happen earlier. Right? Now that has become a part of my life, writing. So
You
there
became a
are,
vivid writer at that time.
yeah,
After
I
that.
call myself, yeah, I wasn't sure, should I call myself an author? Should I call myself a poet? Should I call myself a writer? There are like so many words. Do I fit into that? I used to think of that when before introducing myself, like after I published the book, like, okay, I published the book, I can call myself an author now. So it used to be like that. And, but the transition that has happened, that when I introduce myself to anyone these days, the first thing that I mention is I'm a poet, which did not happen earlier. Recently, I think in August, I published my third book, Unfinished Love. It is micro stories essentially, but it's more poetic prose because I couldn't take out poetry from it. So it's just 7 micro poetry, stories, and it doesn't have, though I'm calling it story. It's not like it has a plot or a storyline as such as a typical fiction book.
That's incredible.
I know.
Wow.
So that's how it
Deepti, so
happened.
what was your loved one's reaction like once you published your book, like, the day when it got published, or what was your reaction when the book got published? And you might be waiting for the loved ones to read it, and what are their responses? Their feedback matters a lot. You would have something in your heart that, yeah, kya hoga, what happened, will they like, and what are their reaction? What was that feeling inside? Like, I just want to know what was your reaction.
Exactly. I think I'm glad you asked that, because so there is very interesting thing. I published my book, so I published what I write, right, in terms of the poems. Okay, so now it means that it's out there. Anyone can read it. Okay, so it was my first step of really, really putting myself out there. Okay, because when you are reading a poet, you are actually reading the poet. right? If you're
Right.
really reading it, that is, right? So you are actually reading the person, which is
You
poetry.
can gauge their
So
feelings, their mind, everything.
yes, you can do
What is
that.
the state of mind? Yeah.
So okay, so when I did that, I think that was my first time when I had put myself out there, like really. So we all do that in different ways, like when you participate in things, in events and competitions, when you work also, like we are putting ourselves in the world. But it's a different thing. This is like really putting out some part of you out there. Right? That's how I kind of felt about it. And I published because I was sure that that's good. It's good poetry. So I published it. Okay. But then there was also this thing that will people who read, will they like it or not? Okay. That's also there. So that kind of thought was also there. Because, and I was obviously eager to know whether they liked it or not. And so there were two sides to it. Like I knew I like it because I've written it and I thought it was good. So I had published only good poetry according to me. So, and, but yeah, will others also like it? That part was also there. And my family, so I always share it first with my mother and with my sister first, whatever I write. They are always first ones, and then others. It has always been like that. And so they already knew what I was going to publish, hence that. And so that was great. So they were proud of me that I published my book. So actually, my father passed away. Like few years back. Otherwise, for him, he was a poet as well, and
Oh,
yeah. So, and obviously, he would have been very proud to see this thing
wow.
because
Mm.
uh, I mean, there was, as far as I know, there was no one else in the family who had published a book, essentially. So that was also another reason. So yeah, my family was
The legacy
definitely
goes. You
proud
are
of.
taking the legacy now. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think of it like that, but yeah, I think it's like I'm able to do something about it. That gives me satisfaction, that kind of a thing. So hence, yeah, they were. And and then, yep, people started reading and they said like they loved it. And actually, it was a very small book, my first book, the Cheer Collection. And because I was a little impatient also, that, I want to publish it and I want to publish it by this time. And I think this is enough. Let me publish these many. So it's a small book in terms of the number of pages and all. So one of the feedbacks that I got from one of my friends was that, I was left wanting for more, it should have had more of poems and it should have been a bigger book. So I think I thought that it was really great to hear that, like, okay, they want to read more. So
Yeah.
that was good. And many of them were reading poetry for the first time because obviously I had published, so they
Mm.
had that pressure that she has written. So my friends, that is, we should be reading it. So a lot of them, they were reading poetry as such for the first
For the
time.
first time. Yeah.
So yeah, so that was
Nice.
also big for me that at least they are warming up to this form, and fortunately they have liked it. It has poetry, and those are the chapters essentially. It, the broader theme of the book is what the title also somehow exudes, right? The light at the edges. So the all of the poetry, uh, the inspiration has come from things around me, like which you would also come across or would have experienced at some point in life, right? And that's what has made it relatable, as per the feedback also that I have received. So the essential broader theme is about finding hope and small joys in very, very simple or sort of say insignificant things or day-to-day things in our life, which we sometimes take for granted and miss also noticing, right? And a little bit of self-love as well, because I've been seeing that people do ignore themselves, maybe not purposefully, because no one would want to do that, but we are so busy and yeah, so we are all of us so busy and stressed out with work, responsibility, and different things for different people. Right? There's this hustle thing that keeps coming up, right? Hustle culture and all. We glamorize that. So yes, so people are stressed and they can forget themselves as well. And everyone wants to be happy, right? But they are not. They are not able to find that joy always. So, and it doesn't have to be so hard. So all of this uh, I had thought, and then uh, I started writing poetry. Right now, the inspiration obviously did come from the things around me, which exist for all of us
Right.
as well. Right? So, uh, hence, and I'll give you an example. Let's say the moon. That's my favorite because there's a moon sighting. I have to look up. That's it, and click a picture, no matter how similar it looks every time. But yeah, it's like that. I'm a moon lover. But yes, moon is there. Everyone sees the moon, right? Or or am I right? Not everyone sees the moon, right? We are busy and we don't see. So there are different elements of nature essentially which are there
Are you
around us.
always self motivated every time? Yeah, something triggered you to write about self love and also about mental health musings, because as far as I'm concerned, or somebody else, we need some push that yes, you have to love yourself. Mental health is important. You have to look after yourself first. Rest will follow. So, what made you start this initiative called Yellow Chair podcast? And you also are writing many books, like many poetries on self love, you said, and hope is important. So was it always inbuilt in you that yes, I am happy, I am motivated, or something happened, some event happened that yes, now you realize that yes, I am important, and now I will appreciate myself, I will love myself, and something like that?
Yeah, yeah. Essentially, I identify myself as a very self-motivated person. But yeah, but does not mean I'm always a happy person. That's practically not possible, right? So I'm not
Right.
always happy, but I do, I am self-motivated, but where does it come from, right? So I, I'm, I tend to keep an open mind. So so I observe, right? I'm generally curious, and then I read, then I observe people, what is happening, uh, and what's the impact of things that is happening. I obviously read, which all of us read, right, in the news, etc. But I definitely read uh, beyond news articles, so to say. So uh, this so I think I'm an observant person, and I do not, uh, what do you say, let it pass just like that. Right? So, because see, some of the things are happening to all of us or around us, so to say. Right? Same things are, but what are we doing about it? Right? Are we letting it go, or are we thinking about it? Are we pausing and reflecting on those? Right? That's what makes a difference. So that's what I do, that I pause and reflect a lot. And when I am not, let's say, in a good mood, or I'm not happy, or say I'm disturbed or upset about something, right? So how do I get myself out of it? Right?
You're
So
right.
some I do not write for that, right, actually, but I have been able to draw inspiration from myself itself. Like, self help is a I think much used word. I don't like to use it, but I think the thing that comes let's helps me come out of it is the strength within me, which I trying to work on, which I draw it from different sources in my life. One is obviously a family and loved ones, but I try to keep my mind open and not let just things go, but try to think, pause, reflect, and do something about it if it is possible for me. Everything is not possible for everyone, right? So that's how even the mental health advocate journey also started for me, because there has always been something or the other in the news articles or in the media that has been coming in terms of how people are impacted adversely
Hmm.
due to mental health issues, right? And now it is getting spoken about a lot, but it was
Right.
there earlier also. So, and I have been reading about it, and I do see people around me stress, and I also get stressed. It's not like anyone's immune up to it now, but then that builds up and it can it can be bad as well. So all of that was happening, and I thought, why should this be the case, right? Because it is, after mental health is part of your health. So there's something that I can do about it by putting myself into it as such, because I'm not a professional as such. Like, I do not have a psychology background, and also as an outsider from the space, is there something that I can do? So I thought, yeah. I mean, I said yes to
Definitely,
myself
I
that I
agree.
can do. So then I yes to myself, yes, I can do something about it. And yeah, I started this initiative called Yellow Chair to raise awareness around mental health. Now, when I say, so earlier I said that I wanted to raise greater and better awareness
Mm.
around mental health. What does that mean? Like, awareness is awareness, but no, I mean, if I'm able to help people connect with what I
Mm.
am putting out, I think that message will go deeper than
Mm.
just something, right? So
True.
people need to retain things, correct? So there's a lot which is out there anyways. You can Google it and it's there. But is it making a difference? Having knowledge is different, but I think knowledge is not equivalent to awareness. Right? So
Mm.
different things. So that was my motive. I wanted to simplify mental health so that it doesn't feel scary for people, and they don't
Mm.
look at it from a distance and budge under the pressure of the stigma, hence that comes up with it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, going back to Yellow Cheer, the initiative that started with all of this in mind in terms of raising awareness around mental health. Uh, yeah, I started doing then I started putting out content to simplify things which were, or rather bring out things which are important for our mental health. First of all, reinforcing that mental health is part of your health, not something like that you suffer from, and or something that is distinct and all of that, or something that you get, right? No. And so really, starting from there, and essentially get the conversation going. So I started doing certain activities around it. And I also got certified as enhanced certified lay counselor, because then I thought it'll give me more ammunition and understanding as far as the space is concerned, so that I can do better at what I'm doing. And so I did that. And in all of this, I also then podcast didn't I didn't start with the podcast when I started
Mm.
here last year. Right? It came about a little later. And I thought about it is because I thought it'll, by way of podcast, I'll reach more people. If there are people who specifically listen to podcasts, they are not really on maybe social media as such, but so there's different ways to reach out people. So I thought, let's try that. And there's one interesting thing also, I think, which really made me think about a podcast, is because I had participated in an open mic, a poetry open mic, around that time. And people liked what I delivered in the open mic. They really came up to me at the end of it, and had a lot of good things to say about it. So I thought I could do it, in terms of, because this is an audio podcast that I started. I thought, yeah, it'll be possibly similar. So let me give this a shot. So that's how I started the podcast. Now, I wasn't sure where it's going to go. I started it, but obviously I wasn't sure where it's going to go. How long will it go on? Will I be able to continue with it? Will people listen to it? Will it actually help? That was a bigger thing that in my
Mm.
mind.
Yeah. What
Will
impact
it
will it
help?
make? Yeah.
Yeah, right. So because I was starting it for people, so
Right.
that was a
And the happiness,
time.
like, what was your reaction when you came to know that it is turning top 10 on the Spotify and top 100 among on the web series, something on the web thing?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what was
yeah.
the reaction? Like, you would be like, "Ki, how so many people are actually listening to my voice and it is actually helping." So this reaction, I think it is magical. You cannot just describe this, because when you are able to help someone, that gives a different feeling altogether. It cannot be compared with your normal routine, normal job routine. That job cannot give you the happiness which your hobby can give you, isn't
Correct.
it?
Yeah. It's a sense of fulfillment is what I will call that feeling, which surpasses a lot of other kind of joys that we have, right? So that's the sense of fulfillment was really great, and I to corporate that, right? So I got really some of the feedbacks that I received. Some people so sweet that they really take an effort to send to write to you with the feedback. Like not everybody does that. So, but I have received some very heartwarming messages with the feedback. So, if I recollect, I think one of them was, I got a message. He said that he listened to a podcast episode and he was going through something at that point in time, and that episode really helped, and he could relate with it. So thank you for doing it. So that really lighted up my day that day when I actually saw that message. Okay, good. It is making
Wow.
some impact. It is helping people. And I think the other one was so there's an episode on autism that with Chitra Paul that I had done. So I got a message from someone who's a father to an autistic son, and so he had written to express his appreciation and just general gratitude and appreciation for the episode because he listened to it, and he said he felt happy that someone is doing this, like someone is putting an effort to raise an awareness around something like this, and uh, you know trying to bridge the gap between stigma and uh, a gap between, let's say, the non-understanding that people have or the awareness that people have about this, and obviously the stigma that comes with it. So he was really uh, happy to see that. That was also really good to hear. Some have been, uh, let's say, generic in terms of they felt good or peaceful calm when they or calm or when they listened to a specific episode. So there are episodes which are just mine solo, my musings, right? And there are some which are with the guests in different fields related to this. So, uh, so one of them was like, yeah, in the morning it was really great to listen to this episode of gratitude, and the voice was really calming, etc. So in different ways, it kind of reinforced uh, the fact that it was creating an impact in some way. So because I do
And
look for signs.
yeah, and when you give, when you deliver to the nature or to people, you become more powerful in some sense. You become more energetic, more confident that yes, I have done, now I can do anything. Maybe it's because someone has been passing through something, but it's just like if that phase has been over, you feel more powerful. Yes, I have done this and I am able to pass on that part. So you become more, and if you are able to help someone in that phase, I think that is the best part. Like gratitude, as you say. So I think I was associated with this word very recently only. I am like, I feel more gratitude now. I feel more thankful, and I'm like, no, we should be more thankful now. We should be doing this. So, how was this word introduced in your life? Like, when was this? When was this word introduced in your life, in your uh, poems, or was it through this channel, Mental Health Musings? Just
Gratitude, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so gratitude is, I read more about gratitude from the mental health, mental well-being context because I think it's a little misunderstood. There's a lot of connotations, I think wrong connotations to it as well. People don't understand gratitude very clearly, right? So there is some awareness that needed to be created about that as well. So that's how. So I read more about it and tried to understand from the mental well-being context. of it as well. So gratitude, if I may expand on it, gratitude does not mean that you consider whatever you're going through less than anyone else, right? It doesn't mean that you have to put that aside, forget it, neglect it, and just be thankful for whatever good has happened in your life, etc. It doesn't mean that. The first thing is that you accept that, yeah, it's okay. Whatever is happening in your life, you have that acceptance of it, right? That is a parallel thing. It doesn't mean that you have to ignore that, which is what happens, right? When because in our commonly something that I have also seen that people sometimes advise you, yeah, look at it that you look at that you have such a good house and you have a good family. How can you be uh, feeling what you're feeling? It could be anything. Right? So just get over it. Right? Or comparatively, also they'll say, at least you have all of these good things with you. Look at the others; they don't even have that. So just be thankful that you have and move on. Gratitude doesn't mean that. So gratitude means that you have a cognizance of the good in your life, because we tend to forget that as well, and we tend to forget ourselves. We also tend to forget, not by choice, let's say, but by just going in the flow, we tend to forget what is the good that is going in our life. And sometimes bringing our attention to that really anchors ourselves to that, and it kind of puts us in a better position to handle our or manage our problems. So that's what it is. So it's not about forgetting your problems, but it really adds more power to uh, your ability to manage them. So yeah, that's one of the misconceptions that I wanted to really do away in that small episode. So
Wow, great. As well said, that gratitude is being thankful to, and yeah, every problem is just a phase of life. We have to accept it, and rote haso accept it, uh, uh, accept it like it's just a phase of life. Or if you cry, then your whole life will get disturbed. It's not like only one person will get disturbed if you'll cry. Because vibe transfer, as you said, and a very infectious person is Sindhu, I would say. One meeting, one moment, if I even talk her only for 2 or 3 minutes now, I feel so motivated throughout the day. Yes, yaar, इस बंदी से बात कर लो, and like she can make my day. She is so infectious person, I
wow.
must say. So I'm blessed to have her in my life.
You can see Shubhra smiling all the way, right? I'm seeing like all the smiles in the street. Deepti is also very like a smiley person. Like I remember Deepti going back to the conversation, right? Like I see that spark, and today also when you're talking about it, right? Like the best thing is you have found your spark and your joy in little things, and you're actually pursuing it. So I think that's what motivates us, right? So this is really amazing, super motivating
Thank you.
to hear your story.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Shubhra, since you mentioned about crying, right? Sorry, I want to put this out that crying is not weakness. Cry as much as you want if you feel like crying, right? Don't suppress it, because that's also something that I've commonly seen that people look at it as weakness. It is
Okay,
not.
okay,
Uh, so there are types of tears, etc., which we not talk about it here because it's out of context. But the more you suppress your emotions, which or suppress your crying, etc., it does more harm to you than any good. Okay. So
okay,
if you that point in time you can't cry in public, so to say, if you're in some place where you obviously can't cry, go some place where you can or cry later, but don't have to suppress your tears. It's not the sign of weakness. It's just like that we say that let it out. So yeah, crying is a way of letting it out. So when you
okay,
are crying, shedding tears, it's the toxins are also going from that. So tears have different functions, actually, scientifically speaking, also. But then emotionally speaking, the more you suppress things within you, the more harm it'll cause to your overall health. Definitely mental health, but it will show the signs on your physical health as well.
Hmm.
So just wanted to put this thing out without going much deeper into it. I cry a lot. I don't suppress it.
I'll work on
Uh,
it. I generally try to suppress it or do something else. Maybe just deviate my mind. But yeah, it's a good thing. Like either I can write or something. I can speak to someone, because I think if I speak, the other person will also get the same feeling, and they will their day will get spoiled. So there are a lot of things that which happens to us, like या दूसरे को क्यों परेशान करना, उनका क्यों दिन खराब करना, they will also get the same tension, let's not disturb them. So these are some mental things which are going on when you are stressed or when you are sad. But yeah, if that is if you let it out at that time, at that point of time, then it will save your day, it will save your energy, you will become more strong, I guess, for the rest of the day, if
you'll be
that is,
lighter. Yeah,
yeah,
you'll definitely
lighter.
feel lighter.
Hmm.
And yeah, yeah. No, but I understand you. There will be situations when you feel like crying, but you cannot at that place and time. You can do it later also. But not don't suppress it with the thought that uh, it is the wrong thing to do or it is a weak thing to do, etc. Like, suppress it for that moment because practically speaking, you're not quite there. So yeah, right late.
इससे याद आता है, I remember recalling those days when I used to cry without any cause, and I used to be like, why I am crying? What is happening inside me? Like, why I'm doing this? And I used to call that I am, and everybody else whosoever I'm calling, they will be like, इसको क्या हो गया, इसको इसको बहुत परेशानी हो रही है, she is getting a problem, like कीमो चल रही है, क्या हो गया, कोई बात नहीं, बट कीमो शायद बहुत ज्यादा अंदर कुछ कर रही है, कीमो बड़ी खराब है, पता नहीं बेचारी को क्या हो रहा है, क्या हो रहा है। तो इतना ज्यादा यार, पर मुझे पता है मुझे अंदर नहीं हो रहा, पर वो रोना निकल रहा है, क्यों निकल रहा है वो समझ नहीं आ रहा था। तो
Yeah.
बट eventually it was like 1 day 2 days I cried, and it was over after some time. It was like जब वहां उस point of time पे कोई सुन ले that somebody is there to hear you, and then it's gone, it's gone. And I then realized, yeah, it's important to let it go at that point of time only. Otherwise, if I didn't take it out, I will carry that baggage in mind ki I had it in myself, I didn't disclose it, and so nobody is here to listen me. वो फालतू का, and that is actually misunderstood by everyone else also and by me also. People will think that she is getting disturbed, she's having some problem, she's like this, ye wo. But the thing is, if one person can listen to her, that the thing is gone.
Yeah. Yes, it's a very important thing that you shared, Shubra. That when listening, if we feel genuinely listened to, it's really it really does wonders to the person who was listened to. And
Exactly.
yeah, it's an important thing that you brought about. Yes.
Thank you, Deepti. Your learnings and your the things which you taught us today, gratitude and crying is not a sign of weakness. So these are some things which I am taking here with me as a learning, and try to be a better person now in for
For yourself.
myself.
For
Yeah,
yourself.
not for
Yeah.
anyone else, for
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is amazing. Deepti, on that note, I also wanted to talk a little bit about advice for other women, right? I know you've shared a few, but just wanted to know, like, a lot of times we feel behind, right? Like, especially this time of the year, there's all these New Year resolutions happening, and then otherwise you'll also reflect on your year and you'll be like, oh my God, I had defined all these things. What did I do? There's all this FOMO happens, right? So just want to know, Deepti, what would you say to someone who feels behind in their life? Um, like, yeah, what advice would you give, or what life philosophy do you follow?
Yeah, I think one of the first things that one should do is behind to whom, right? What is it that you're thinking? Are you comparing yourself with someone else? Like you're behind someone, right? So then stop. That is not the thing that you should do. If at all you have to compare, compare it with yourself. Are you behind what you had thought of yourself to be in terms of where you wanted to be, etc. Right? So as there's a definitely first thing all of us should keep in mind, that don't compare yourself with others, because your journey is always going to be so unique and different than the millions others for obvious reasons, right? So that is one thing. Behind whom, right? And if you think you're behind yourself, that you would have the future self essentially, or the present self is behind your thought of, then that's a good place to start. Then I think a reflection is a very powerful tool that I always use, because it gives you clarity in so many different ways. Now, why I feel it's important and not is not being done so much, because we have made ourselves so busy in life due to different things. One is personal responsibilities and professional responsibilities, definitely. But apart from that as well, we try to seek comfort in things which are not important to us in the longer run. Right? So we make ourselves busy in that as well. Correct. So hence reflecting on what is happening is essential, because when you reflect, you can see some patterns, if at all there are, right? So things that are not working out or have not been working, not been working out for you for a longer period of time. Is there a pattern? It will come about only if you reflect on it, because no one else can. I mean, people can point it out to you, but you'll have to be open to them about it. So hence, you're the best person to do it yourself. Correct. That is one thing. Reflect on certain things. Now, what do you reflect on? So reflect on the areas of the life which you feel you're falling behind or need work on. Don't try to do it everything at once. Starting take small steps at a time. Right now, let's say we talk about professionally. I think since you mentioned that falling behind in the professional space. Okay, so ask so there are these W's, right? What, why, and when. These are very simple ones, but I think they've always given me clarity. Like, what is it that I am missing in life? So you have to define what is falling behind me. So what is it that is missing? So let's say you are. So it can be a promotion, it can be a job change, it can be team change. A very high level, I'm saying, but as you go deeper, you will know what is that is missing. Because this is all about getting clarity. What I'm trying to focus on is getting clarity, because that's when we can act on it in an informed way, a self-aware way, essentially. And so what is that is missing? Okay, and when we reflect on it, we come across things which are actually important to us, not something that people have told us. Like somebody must have told you that you should have been at this level. That should is always there. Right? You should have been doing this. You should have be drawing so much salary by this time. You should be at this level, right? So factually, just see if that is really the case, and what if it is really important to you. Now, when I mean say that, you also need to understand the place where you want to be or level you want to be. Is it going to excite you, right? The potential of that, let's say, because right now you don't have it. So let's say the potential of it. Does it excite you, or is it because of some force that you want to be there? Right? That by this level I should have been, by this time I should have been the VP, etc. Right? But does it really excite you? The thought of it, at least. Okay. So because in the longer run that matters. Otherwise, then again there'll be disappointments and the circle continues. So it's important to value what excites you. So that is it. So then what? And then does it excite you? Right? And why? Right? Because why is so important. When you feel lost, the why will get you back. If it is that was important to you. If your why is not so solid, I think you will be okay to let it go or not work towards it with as much passion. Because yeah, there'll be life is like wave, right? Crest and trough. So there'll be high points and there'll be low points. It comes for everyone. You should be able to navigate those low points. But we will be able to do that when we have something to drive, right? So the why part really drives. I go back to my why a lot of times when I feel disappointed. Like, why did I start this? Why did I think of doing this? Because it is not moving forward. So is it even worth pursuing it and all. So I try to find my answers uh, around that why, and then find my next steps. Like, no, I have to go ahead. This is the reason, and it's still important to me, right? So hence, I keep doing what is needed at that point in time, right? So that is the thing. Then the why is something that you should define. Now you will possibly see the gap in terms of why you don't have what you wanted to have. Is it the skills? Is it your value system? Or your strengths are different, right? They are possibly suitable for something else, but you want something else. So you should definitely want then something else. So then how do you bridge that gap? So you upskill, right? So understanding that gap. So what are your strengths, your values, and specific skills or unique skills which will possibly help you go to that. So I think some of these things which will only come when you reflect. I think these are some of the things which will give you clarity. But sometimes we still get stuck while reflecting also, right? So there are tools like self-assessment in terms of if you want to understand what are your skills and strengths, etc. So there are certain assessments and tools that are available, which definitely you can take up if necessary to give you more clarity if you're not able to do it yourself. The third thing is talk to someone. Right? Sometimes it's not possible to do it all on your own for different reasons. Talk to someone who you trust. It could be your mentor, friend, and obviously family. So it depends on your comfort level also, right? And beyond your first network as well, right? So if you can move around certain networking circles and try to talk to people who are in this at the level that you want to go, right? Or who have had some uh, experience doing what you want to do, etc. Right? So let's connect with people. Connecting with people, actually talking to them or interacting with them in some way definitely helps. And but always try to do small things if you're not sure. And it depends on your career trajectory as well. So if you're like fresher, try to get some internship projects, try to work on them and see if that's exciting you. It depends. Hence I said where you are, or because not always it's easy. It's not always easy to get a job and stick to it. We have to start somewhere. Remember that starting is important, and when you start, then things start to unfold. Sometimes it takes a lot of time to start because we wait for perfect things and situations which normally don't exist. I think perfection is our own definition we create. Like, okay, this is perfect, but for you, it may not be perfect. So according to me, there is nothing like perfection. So I
And
stay,
scares are beautiful.
yeah.
Now we are switching gears a little bit and moving to the rapid fire questions. So Deepti, one word
I've
that
never had a rapid fire. Okay, so yeah.
okay,
Okay.
this will be fun then.
Okay.
Okay, one word that describes your writing.
Inspiring.
Amazing. One book that changed you.
I think it has to be Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Uh, it is a book that I always recommend to anyone and everyone, whether or not you read books, because it's a small book, and it's about. So essentially, he's written about his experiences in the Nazi concentration camp in the World War, right? And he survived that. So he's written about all the things that he's experienced that. But now, what is the takeaway from the book is that one thing that, and it is also a sort of a quote from the book, that one thing. Almost everything can be taken away from a person, but one thing that cannot be taken away is the attitude of the person in response to a particular situation. That will be your own, and one can take away that, and hence that becomes your choice, right? And that'll make a difference. So this is coming from someone who has survived the concentration camp of the World War II, right? So it's so powerful, and it is not gyan. It is something that he has lived and experienced, and uh, and there is hence a learning that is taken out from that, from his survival story, and from let's say a few other survival stories of that camp. And one of the other things that has come up in the book is what helped people who survived, right? So that was purpose. They had something to look forward to, which made them look look at the situation in a positive way, so to say, or be optimistic. It was different things, obviously, for different people. For some, it was chance of meeting their loved ones back, or anything, or daily task or something. But they had something or the other that they could look forward to. They had sort of a purpose, and it helped them to keep going. So I find that book very, very powerful.
That's amazing. Thanks, Deepti. On that note, a line you have written that means the most to you.
There's a line. So it is from The Light at the Edges. Uh, Hope keeps pushing you forward, and that's how miracles unfold. That's
Amazing.
that's a
Great.
line that I like try to live by.
Amazing. One misconception about mental health everyone should unlearn.
Oh yeah, one should definitely unlearn that mental is not for me. Oh, please unlearn that. Everyone has mental health. It is part of your overall health. Physical health plus mental health is overall health, right? So please unlearn that. That it is not something that you're going to get from somewhere. And mental illness is different than mental health. So you have mental health. Everyone has mental health. So that understanding is important so that you do something about it.
Well
And
said.
one question from my side. Your motto for life, for work-life balance, since you're being corporate also, you are being an author, you're being a poet. How do you juggle? What is your life motto?
Oh yeah, my life, I haven't thought about it actually. But my favorite, it's a line that which I've tried to live by. It's called, it's goes something like this, that enthusiasm means the God within you. So I try to live by that in some way,
Nice.
and it helps me sometimes create a balance, and sometimes I don't know, but I try to live by that.
Nice. Great.
Yeah.
Amazing. Deepti, a habit that improved your emotional well-being.
I try to focus on things which are in my sphere of control, because there's so much which is not in our control. Right? And
And very important. It
you
is.
can't do anything about it, for sure. But there are so many things which are in your control. So if you
Mm.
spend your energy and focus on that, I think a lot of things can improve.
Hmm.
So I try to focus on those, and it helps me keep myself sane a lot of times. Yeah.
Amazing. Now you have three words that describe your journey so far: the podcast, the writing journey, your professional journey.
Hmm. So yeah, I think it's purpose and perseverance and growth. These
Amazing.
are the yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Amazing. And last question for the rapid fire from my side is one tip for new authors or writers or someone trying to pursue their passion.
Yeah, I think writing is the shortcut to writing well. No other shortcut. Write, keep writing, and then you improve. Right? So
Start.
there's no hack. I mean, also there are ways you can improve it, but if you don't write, you can't improve. So the writing is
Poem. Will I write the perfect, article? And then we don't do it, right? So, like I said, you just have to start somewhere and then do it for the joy of writing, not like thinking about where this goes. I remember, Deepti, when I met you, I was asking, hey, how are you planning to market your book? How are you? And you said, yeah, I'll do it. I'll start with WhatsApp. So you were like so simplistic about it, because a lot of times people will be like confused on like 100 things and then they don't get started because you're overwhelmed, right? So I love the clarity that you bring and the fact that you're willing to take your leap of faith. You always like think of your passion and then you're doing it. You said, I want to do mental health advocacy. I want to do a podcast. I want to write. And then you went about it. You have, and you've been successful as well. And it's not that you are not, like Shubhra said, you are in one of the top health in the mental health category because you're consistent, you're persistent, and you're leading with passion and purpose. So lovely talking to you, Deepti. I think it's been a pleasure. I'm sure the audience are going to love this episode, and I would highly recommend checking out her podcast. Like she said, there's like lovely poems. I've listened to them and some lovely conversations on different topics. It's light on one side, it's also on the other hand, you can hear about deeper conversations. So definitely check it out. And her books, like I was telling earlier, it was one of the first poetry I read after school. School, it was like a syllabus. But after that, I read, it was so light. And I was like, oh my God, why am I not reading more poetry? Because it is very light. I always think poetry as very heavy. Though your books are so relatable. So if someone is thinking of starting reading poetry, would recommend checking out one of your books as well.
I'll definitely check indeed.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Deepti. And Shubhra, thanks to you for leading the conversation and being vulnerable and sharing about your own journey. I know it's not easy. I know you're talking about your chemo journey or you being here and you being so positive. Like you said, I think it's been one hell of an inspiration. And like Deepti said, it's not always necessary that we are always positive, but I love how you always have the smile on your face and you're also okay to cry, let it out. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
You were an inspiration for me personally, Shubhra. And of course, I'm sure a lot of people who are hearing this thing will also be inspired by your journey. So thanks a lot, Shubhra, for leading the conversation. Any final
Thank you so much.
yeah.
I just want to say, I just felt that from this chapter of mine, from this cancer chapter, I just want to mention that yes, scars are beautiful. It's not that bad. It's good. It makes you to be a better person. I am looking good, I think. I am happy. I'm confident. It's new me. So, yeah,
Yes, no, you have a
scars are
very beautiful
beautiful.
smile. Very beautiful.
Thank you
You have
so
got a
much.
very sparkly, beautiful smile.
Thank you
Please,
so much.
please retain that.
Sure, sure.
Both of you. I mean, I think both of you are like lovely ladies. Yeah, I mean, I'm so grateful for for having me on your wonderful show. Really, really thankful for that. It was really lovely talking to both of you, and I really wish all the success to your channel. And I just wish that it keeps inspiring more women, and I really wish all the good wishes that you need to keep it going. It was really wonderful to be here today.
Same here. We are taking a lot of learnings from you as well.
Thank you. I'm glad
Thank
I
you
could
so
offer
much.
something.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Deepti. It was lovely talking to you. And yeah, like I said, I'm sure the audience will be inspired because the Growth Circle community of women entrepreneurs, leaders, even like it's not just for working moms. Our concept is it's even for people who are staying at home because careers are not linear, right? So, jungle gym, like you said, there's waves, right? One day you want to, like, you say, hey, this year I want to do 100 things. So, this year you just want to stay back and you want to focus on your health, your family. So, we celebrate all such stories, and that's the idea. At the end of the day, like you said, it's more about reflecting on what you want in this phase of life and going for it. It's not like a rat race, right? You're not, what are you behind, right? Like you rightly said, like when you say you're falling behind, what are you falling behind? I think that's the idea. So that is why we want people to hear different types of stories, like to hear people's stories like you, like someone pursuing their passion. So this has been amazing. Thank you so much, Deepti. Once again, any final thoughts or any message for the Growth Circle team or the Growth Circle community, Deepti?
Yeah. Generally, I think there's one thing that I want all of us to really keep this in mind that you matter no matter what, right? You always matter. And there's this light within you. Nurture that, and the path ahead will then light up with endless possibilities. So keep going.